Ishavatara karunamaya vigrahaya stutyaya sarva jagatam paripalakaya dharmaisya rakshana vidher Jishu Krishna namne Meri Joseph Sutaya Namo Namastu. Our salutations to Jesus Christ, the son of Mary and Joseph. He is an incarnation of God and an embodiment of compassion. Jesus, the adorable one, was born to protect the religion and save the world. Our salutations to him again and again. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace be to all. This morning our subject is followers of Jesus Christ. Today is December 24th, Christmas Eve. Very auspicious day in Christendom. Millions of people will go to the church to pray. Other times people do not go. But in Christmas and Easter, we see people go and pray. And they create a spiritual atmosphere all over the world. We believe avatar, God descends as a human form to protect religion. Krishna mentions in the Gita, when religion declines, irreligion prevails, I incarnate. To protect the good, to destroy the evil, I incarnate in every age. So we believe that God incarnates time to time. Why does he have to come? Vishnu Purana says, Sadharma karma vimukha Krishna Krishna iti vadino te harer deshino mudha dharmartham jarmayate hari. There are some people say God, 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 but they do not practice religion. They are enemies of God. Why? Because they had to force God to come to this earth as a human being. That Vishnu Purana says. So we believe that God incarnated as Rama, Krishna, Buddha, Jesus, Ramakrishna. And each avatar comes with a specific mission. Rama established the truth, Krishna established dharma, Buddha established ahimsa, Jesus established love, Sri Ramakrishna established harmony of religions. Each avatar comes with a specific mission. We see in the religious history of the world. They remove hypocrisy from religion. You see, 4 kinds of people exploit the society. First, in the Aboriginal society, we find the mightiest person enjoys maximum privilege. I protect the society, you people worship me. Second, learned people. I am very learned, I am capable, make me senior senator, make me president. I enjoy more benefit than ordinary people. Third, rich people. I have money, I can have many number of servants and workers and all these things, they enjoy. Fourth, priest. They exploit the society. That we find during the time of Jesus, during the time of Hinduism before Buddha came. The priest people, they exploit the society. Anyhow, Vedanta is very much against these kinds of privileges. Very interesting. Followers of Jesus Christ, how to follow God. What shall I gain following Him? It is very interesting. Yesterday, do you know what I was thinking? Here is a God and man. They want to unite. God needs man, man needs God. Why man needs God? Because peace and bliss are only in God. It is not in this world. As Ramakrishna says, Kamini Kanchan Shukh Dite Parena. Lust and gold cannot bring peace. So for the reason we need God. And God also wants to love to play, Leela. Bhagavatam says, Upanishad says God exists. Bhagavatam says God exists. He comes, He calls, He plays. I need a playmate. Upanishad says, Saditiyam oichata. I am alone, I shall be many. That Brahman, Shagun Brahman, he became many. So we are all reflected gods. So he comes to play with them. Very interesting how it goes. An example came to my mind. Here is a king on the throne in the palace. And is it too low? Or here is a poor girl, beautiful, in a slum. And now king fell in love with this girl. How can they unite? Either king will have to leave the throne and come to the slum and live with the girl in the slum. Or the girl will have to go to the palace to live with the king in the palace. Either way. Either way. So if you want to live with God, we are in a slum. Slum is this world. We will have to develop godly qualities. Otherwise we cannot go there. When people say God realization, God realization, God realization, we develop these godly qualities. Because the union comes when they are together. Otherwise no union is possible. You see in Christianity, divine communion, they repeat again and again. How is it possible? How can I commune with God? This is the way. You develop godly qualities, then you can unite yourself with God. Or God, out of compassion, if seeing a sinner, He comes as a savior and comes down and saves. It is a play. It is a drama. I am just telling you how union is possible. Sri Ramakrishna says, যে আমার চিন্তা করে সে আমার সত্তা পায়, পিতার ঐশ্বর্য পুত্রে পায়. That's a beautiful sentence. When the father dies, who gets the property? Children? children inherit their parents' property. So if we think that we are the children of Jesus, children of Sri Ramakrishna, we shall inherit his wealth. That Sri Ramakrishna said. What is wealth? Not money. Knowledge, devotion, samadhi, all divine qualities will come to you. You know, one day one mystic made a beautiful remark. You people pray. What do you pray? God, some people, they shakam prarthana, give me money, give me good health, give me good husband, good wife, good children. They pray. Some people pray, God, give me love, devotion, purity, renunciation. They pray. But the mystic says, why do you pray all these things? When we shall talk about Master Eckhart, I shall tell you, do not pray for anything. Not to pray for anything is the highest prayer. God knows what you need. Dear, do you know what does it go? Lord, I want you. If you get God, you will get all divine qualities. I remember an Indian folklore. A king had 3 wives. He was going to invade a country. And he was asking his 3 wives, what do you want? The first wife says, I want jewels and gold and all these things. Second wife says, I want clothes and all fancy things of that country. And third wife says, I don't want anything. I want you to come back safely and stay with me. That is the third wife. You just come and just stay with me. So the king invaded the country, he got victory, brought gems and jewels to the first wife, clothes and fancy things to the second wife, and he himself went to the third wife. So where king goes, everything goes with him. That is the reason Christ said, first seek the kingdom of God, and everything shall be added unto you. That is the secret. That is the secret. First seek the kingdom of God, and everything shall be added unto you. That is a beautiful sentence. Beautiful sentence. Sri Ramakrishna also says, Age Ishwar, Pore Jagat. First God, then the world. If you bring first world, you will be confused. You know, when I was opening my book, I see my name, pre-monastic name, and it is written there 1960. This imitation on the Imitation of Christ by Thomas A. Kempis. It is one of the classic of the Christian literature of the Imitation of Christ. I still remember, I bought it from Oxford University Press in Calcutta. Swami Vivekananda, when he traveled, he carried this book with him. Because this book represents Daisya Bhava, the servant attitude towards God. Lord, you are the master, I am your servant. I want to serve you. I want to love you, I want to serve you. Nothing else. Ashulko Dashika. In the Bhagavatam, do you know what do they say, the gopis? We want to be your maid, you will not have to pay anything. Ashulko. Free. My service is free to you. I love you. Without any expectation. So this book represented that. Swamiji mentioned this about this book. In the very beginning of that book, Thomas A. Kempis quoted John, "He who walketh me shall not walketh in darkness." That is the beginning of the word. How to walk with God. Then he says, if you want to go with God, give up these three vanities. Lokuishana, aputrishana, bittuishana, sarvevaishana, bhavavata. It is in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Lokuishana, desire for name and fame. Putrishana, desire for children, sex. Bittuishana, desire for money. These are the three desires that are controlling the whole world. These three desires. Look what Thomas A. Kempis said. Vanity of vanities, and all is vanity, except to love God and to serve Him only. Vanity, therefore, is to seek after perishing riches and to trust in them. That is Vittuishana. It is also vanity to hunt after honors and to climb to high degrees. That is Lokuishana. It is a vanity to follow the desires of the flesh and to labor for that for which thou must afterwards suffer grievous punishment. That is Putrishana. Sometimes when we read the Christian literature, we find so many similarities with our Vedanta. Let all teachers hold their peace. Let all creatures be silent in thy sight. Speak thou alone unto me. That is called union. Somebody was asking me, Swami, I pray. Uncle, do you know what is prayer? It is a dialogue between God and man. It is a dialogue that he is telling. Oh teachers, you please be silent. I heard enough. Let me warn with my beloved in silence. Silence. Silence is Brahman. This book talks only about humility. Now the question is, whom should we follow? Followers of Jesus Christ. Whom should we follow? There are so many teachers. Now in the YouTube, whatever, bombardment of teachers. Oof, you will be confused when you open the YouTube. I do sometimes. In the Bonaparvam of the Mahabharata, it is said, Veda Bibhinna, Smratayo Bibhinna, Nasavu Munir Jaisa Matang Na Bhinnam, Dharmasya Tattam Nitam Guhayam, Mahajano Yena Gatasya Pantha. Veda, scriptures are many. Smriti, man-made scriptures also many. All the sages speak differently. But the true religion is in the inner chamber of your heart. True religion is within, that Christ said. The kingdom of heaven is within you. Again he said, kingdom of heaven is above. Both ways. Mahajano Gatosya Pantha. Follow the people who have realized God. The great people, the illumined souls, the mystics, follow them. That Mahabharata says. So we'll have to follow. We need some role models. Now we shall go with the disciples of Jesus. He had 12 disciples. Peter and Andrew, they are two brothers. James and John, they are two brothers. Jesus got them in Galilee. They are fishermen, illiterate. Then Philip, Bartholomew, Thomas, Matthew, who was a tax collector, Judas Iscariot, if you read Sermon on the Mount according to Vedanta, here you will find, yes, the multitude followed Jesus. He went to the top of the hill, which took 12 disciples and gave his message. You know, those who read the Bible, they see. If you read the red letter Bible, it will take 2.5 to 3 hours only to read whatever Jesus said. Same thing, Gita. It takes only 3 hours, 2-3 hours. You can finish the whole Gita. So, what happened? Then he trained them. That is the quintessence of Christ's teachings that he gave to his disciples. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the meek. Blessed are the peacemakers. There are 9 beatitudes we find in the Sermon on the Mount. Jesus empowered them to carry his message. We shall not go to his life too much. We want to go to see his disciples and the next followers. What happened? After crucifixion, these Christians were persecuted by the Romans and the priests. So Peter was the main disciple of Jesus. When Jesus asked Peter, "What do you think about me?" Peter said, I want to tell you exactly what he said. Peter understood, "You are the Christ, the Son of the living God. You have been blessed, Simon, son of Jonas." Jesus said, "For flesh and blood have not revealed that to you, but my Father who is in heaven. And I say also to you that you are Kepha, and upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it." This faith that Jesus was the Son of God came to Peter, main disciple. Do you know why? He watched the miracles of Jesus. He gave sight to the blind. He gave strength, lame to walk. He bring the dead into life. He did all sorts of miracles. Only it is possible by God. So he said, you are the Son of God. Slowly, some disciples started to understand who Jesus was. When you read the Gospel of Ramakrishna, sometimes Sri Ramakrishna was asking his disciples, what do you think of me? He was trying to evaluate their understanding, their spiritual level. Very interesting, very interesting. So Jesus, Peter, in one lecture he told, you people are all sinners. You killed the innocent man. It's a Pentecostal fire, the divine power. Jesus empowered into his disciples. Then do you know what happened? People are afraid. In one lecture he converted 3,000 people. Then he was going to the church. A lame man was by the side of in the synagogue. Please heal me. I am lame, born lame. Peter looked at him and said, gold and silver have I none, but such as I have give I thee. In the name of Jesus Christ of Nazareth, rise up and walk. Immediately that man was healed and began to walk. Went to the temple. People are thinking, look, he's a born lame, now we can walk. Who did it? Well, Peter. Well, not me, it is the Father in heaven. In this way, the disciples started to spread. If you read the Bible according to Mark, it was all Peter's sayings. He was a fisherman, he did not write. Mark wrote. Anyhow, so what happened? It was, I think, 64 AD. There was a fire in Rome. Nero, he was the emperor. He set fire and blamed the Christians so that the Christians will be killed and persecuted. Bas, Christians, they are persecuted and many are killed. So other Christians said to Peter, you run away. You are the main disciples of Jesus. Your life is very precious to us. Please go. Peter left at night from Rome. What happened? He found a light was coming from the opposite direction toward Rome. Goa Veda Bhajas. That is a famous saying. Lord, where are you going? You know what Jesus said? Goa Bhajas, where are you going, Lord? Answer. Since you are deserting my people, I am going to Rome to be crucified for the second time. Then he vanished. Peter again returned to Rome. He was arrested. Then they crucified him. But he requested, my guru was crucified head up, leg down. I will be crucified leg up, head down. And his request was answered. Then came Saint Paul. Saint Paul was very learned, extremely learned. He knew the whole Old Testament. He knew, I think, there are 600 or 700 laws of Moses. He tried to spread Christianity. How was he converted? He removed all Christians from Israel. Then he was going to Damascus, Syria, to remove Christians from there. Kill them, murder them. Some are killed throwing the stones. There are many, many martyrs in Christianity. Anyhow, do you know what happened? He was on horseback. He was going to Damascus. All of a sudden, a blazing light fell on him, and he fell from the horse onto the ground. And he saw a form. Saul, Saul, why do thou persecutest me? Why are you persecuting my people? Who are you? I am Jesus of Nazareth. Paul was converted against his will. He was going to just kill the Christians. Now he became a Christian. Then Paul, if you read the Bible, his letters to Corinthians, theologians, those letters are the testimonies, the valuable documents of Christianity. We know those letters. It is not a myth. Then St. Paul was in Rome with Peter. Then he was also arrested. But he was a Roman citizen. Roman citizen cannot be crucified. So what happened? They beheaded. Killed. Swami Vivekananda made a remark that Paul overturned the Roman civilization. Then Romans became the Christians. Very interesting, you know. If you read the history of Christianity and see how Christianity spread, you will have to understand, in this whole world, 3 religions are missionary religions: Christianity, Islam, and Buddhism. Hinduism, Judaism are not missionary religion. We do not convert people. But Christians, Jesus said, go to the countries and convert people. A conversion. So number of Christians in the world is the maximum. Then Muslims. Islam. They used force. But Buddhism is spread through love and compassion. No force. I'm just telling you the history, the missionary religions. Next disciple, John. I am going to tell you some stories. It is not a lecture. Just to tell you the stories, how the disciples, how the Christian mystics function. John, another disciple of Christ. He became old. He used to live in Ephesus. Ephesus. So there was a church. This old man was brought in a chair. After the lecture, people would greet him. So people asked, tell us something about Jesus. Love one another. Next Sunday, he said the same thing. Tell us something. You are a disciple of Jesus. You lived with him. What did you hear from him? Love one another. Did you not hear anything else? What more to say? That is the final. Love people. Swami Vivekananda made a remark. The first 5 verses of John in the Bible, New Testament, is the whole philosophy of Christianity. In the beginning, the Word. The Word was with God. Then the Word became flesh. That is the whole philosophy of Christianity. Another thing we find, Mary Magdalene, Jesus had some women disciples also. One day, Jesus was in the house of Simon Peter. Mary Magdalene came. She washed the feet of Jesus with her tears. Then she wiped the feet with her hair. Then she opened an anointed box, like some kind of perfume, cream, and anointed the feet of Jesus. And Jesus put his two hands on his head and blessed her. It is a scene to meditate. You see, Jesus also needs some kind of fallen people so that he can prove that I am a savior, I save people. When Jesus, Pilate, asked the crowd, "This is an innocent man, what do you want?" The other people shouted, "Crucify him, crucify him." But this girl got up and said, "No, he is innocent." He shouted against the masses. If you read the Jesus of Nazareth, I have 6 or 8 hours movie. That is one of the best movies I have ever seen about Jesus in my life. I have CGs. Beautiful, beautiful. Save him. But anyhow, Jesus was crucified. Swami Vivekananda made a remark. Most of the mystics, saints, we find among the Catholics, not among the Protestants. Saint Benedict, founder of Western monasticism. First, I shall tell you about Saint Francis of Assisi. I went in 1990 in Rome. Then whole day I lived in Assisi. That place has tremendous atmosphere. Whole day I stayed there. How he built the churches, what he did. I wrote a long article about him when I was a brahmachari. He was the son of a very rich man. Then he went to war. But on the way he came back. He was very sick. Then he heard a voice. And he left home. His father persecuted and tortured him so that he must not be a monk. But he became a monk and started to form an organization. But I want to marry the Lady of Poverty. And in his order, chastity, poverty, and obedience. These are the 3 things he made the rule for his order. Francis. At that time, Innocent III was the Pope in Rome. He said, "My goodness, how is it possible for human beings to live in this world?" At last, his order was recognized by the Roman Catholics. He really moved. He followed what Jesus said and became a tremendous spiritual force and power. He started a women's organization also, Sarah. I remember in 1970s when I was in Hollywood, I went to see a movie, Brother, Sun and Sister Moon. And many might have seen that movie. It was very, very popular. And do you know what happened? One of our monks saw that movie 4 or 5 times. So he came to the monastery, threw away all his badge and lying down on a wooden plank. Then came to me and said, Swami, I cannot work. I have terrible physical pain. I go, what happened? Then I heard that he was trying to follow. He was trying to follow Saint Francis on his wooden plank. I'm going to put the badge again and lie down. Brother, sun and sister, moon. I saw other movies also. Another saint, I was very fond of Saint Thomas Aquinas. He wrote 30 volumes of law, Christianity, very famous. He was the son of a very rich lord in France. And he left to Rome. His father went and brought him back. Asked the poem, release my son. And you see, France was very powerful, Catholics. So, released him and came and tried to force him to give up his monastic life. No. Then the father put him in a basement in a dungeon. He was there. Then at night he sent a girl to tempt him. Do you know what he did? If there is a fireplace, he took a burning wooden stick and attacked that girl. And she ran away. He was not tempted. Then he stopped eating. I want to kill myself. So his brothers was very compassionate. He secretly released him from that dungeon. Then again he came back to Rome. My goodness, he was really, really very powerful person. Saint Thomas Aquinas. Toward the end of his life, Jesus said to him, Seventh is released, 14 books. Pope Innocent IV was there. One day praying before the crucifix, he heard a voice. Thomas, you have written well of me. What would you have as a reward? What kind of reward do you want from me? Jesus asked him. He answered humbly, only thyself, Lord, nothing else. I want you and you alone, nothing else. You know, after the resurrection, when first appeared before Mary Magdalene, what she said, my Lord, my God, my Lord, my God. That is called highest love. I want you and you alone, nothing else. Then in 1992, I went to Avila in Spain. There was a school called Contemporary Mysticism. So I was invited to speak on Ramakrishna. I stayed for a week. It is a temple, it is a walled city. And they say next to Great Wall of China, that wall is the biggest. You see, you will have to understand, Spain was under the Moors, Turks, for 300 years. Muslims invaded. And later on came the Muslims were converted into Christians. Oof, in Spain. So what happened? I went there. After the lecture, they gave me a guided tour. So they took me a church where St. John the Cross and Teresa met. Those two chairs are still exist. I'm talking about 15th, 16th century, long ago. Anyhow, what happened? One day after the morning prayer, Teresa saw a little boy on the step. Who are you? That little boy said to Teresa, who are you? I am Teresa of Jesus. Then Teresa asked, who are you? I am Jesus of Teresa. That's a beautiful place. They showed me that incident took place here. Beautiful, beautiful incident. Then she suffered from heart problem all through her life. Teresa. Her greatest contribution, her autobiography. It is a classic in Christian literature. Autobiography of Saint Teresa. Then do you know what happened? She was a Carmelite nun. So what was doing, she was going to Toledo in Spain to open a convent. She is a reformist. She and John. John was in jail for 1 year because they are opposing, they are changing the rules of the Rome. Anyhow. So what happened? He was going by horse carriage. Teresa was going to Toledo by horse carriage. On the way, that carriage has an accident, overturned, and she fell into a ditch. Then she complained, Lord, I am not well, and all through my life I am serving you, and I am going to open a convent for you in the Toledo, and this is the way you are treating me. Then Jesus said to her, my sweet child, this is the way I test my disciples, my followers. This is the way I test my followers. Then Peter answered, that is the reason you have only few. You have only few followers. That's a very beautiful incident. This is the way I test my followers. Well, that is the reason we have only a few. Amazing. Then comes Master Eckhart. He followed St. Thomas Aquinas. He was a German mystic. Many of his teachings are similar to Vedanta, non-dualism. Very interesting. What do you preach? When I preach, I usually speak of disinterest and say that a man should be empty of self and all things. That's a renunciation. And secondly, that he should be reconstructed in the simple good and God is. That is faith. And thirdly, that he should consider the great aristocracy which God has set up in the soul, such that by means of it man may wonderfully attain up to God, love, and then purity. I do not have too much time, otherwise I would tell you a little bit more about this Saint Thomas Aquinas. Pure Vedanta. He believed in Godhead. Do you know what is the difference between God and Godhead? God has a name and form, and Godhead has no name and form, pure consciousness. Just Hinduism. We have Vishnu, Rama, Krishna, Shiva, all the gods and goddesses. But Brahman is pure consciousness. Anyhow, so he believed that thing. There are many, many things I could tell you, but anyhow. We should be called children of God. If we are to be God's children, we must be like Him. What then does this authority mean? He says that God is a being like no other. However, this is meaningful in that an agent of the soul, such as the intellect, is like nothing else. It is like God. Know that by nature, every creature seeks to become like God. And this is all pure Vedanta. You are the Atman, but you are hypnotized. That you are thinking you are a jiva, you are an ordinary human being. Hypnotize yourself that I am Brahman. That is the most of the important teachings of Saint Master Eckhart. It's a pure Vedanta, pure Vedanta. His disciple was Henry Suso, another German mystic. I love that book. Suso. What he taught? He taught mysticism, total renunciation of self, absolute submission to divine, and complete stripping of intellect of all intellectual and sensible images. Renunciation of self, ahang tag, no ego. As Sri Ramakrishna said, a thread cannot go in the eye of a needle if there is any fiber. It should be one. So if you have ego, you will never be able to enter there in God. And Sharanagati, absolute submission, surrender to God. And third, stripping intellectual things. That means chitta vritti nirodha, according to Yoga Sutra. If your all thought waves stop, do you know what happens? Tada drashtu sharupe avasanam. Then the Atman reflects there. Then you are in Brahman. There's a beautiful story about Suso. I love that story. One day he went to a convent to give a talk to the nuns. The nuns are asking, "Brother, how are you doing?" Suso replied, "Sisters, last 1 month I am passing through a very bad time. Really, God forgot me." "What do you mean?" Last 1 month I have no complaint, no problem. My life has become so easy and comfortable. So God has forgotten me. In the meantime, somebody knocked the door. Another monk came. So immediately he left the convent and came and met his brother monk. "What happened?" "There is something wrong." "Well, what?" "The Baron's daughter has become nun, and Baron is mad. He wants to kill you. And you are responsible for many girls to become nuns in the convent. So you are a culprit. You will be punished." So Suso came back to the nuns and says, "Sister, now God loves me. I got the problem." A easygoing life is not very good. Vain glory and easygoing life, these are the two great obstacles of Christian tradition. Easygoing life. When we read the missionaries, how much suffering, persecution they had to go through to spread the message of Jesus in Asia, Africa, other countries. As I said, it is a missionary religion. Another book that is, to me, that is also a classic in Christianity. The Practice of the Presence of God. It was written by Brother Lawrence. His original name was Nicholas Herman of Lorraine, a 17th century Carmelite monk. He was a young man, went to... In Europe, war, continuously, war going on, you see. So he went to war and lost one leg. He was in the hospital. It was winter, lying down in bed. Then spring came. He saw the trees are blooming. Then he thought, though I do not have a leg, there must be a hope in my life. He was discharged from the hospital. He came to a monastery, Carmelite monastery, and became a cook. He became a cook for the brothers. And there he practiced his sadhana. All things are possible to him who believes. They are less difficult to him who hopes. They are easier to him who loves, and still more easy to him who practices and perseveres in these three virtues. So kitchen became his altar. What did he practice? Sab Ramer Ichha. Everything is the will of God. So we realized what is God's will. He united himself with God. This book has 4 interviews, 4 conversations, and 15 letters. This became a classic book in Christian tradition, the practice of the presence of God. It is really amazing that it shows that this, one story I shall tell, I like it. He was asked to buy some wine in the monastery. How will he go? He cannot walk. He found a big drum, empty drum. He rolled himself over the drum and went to the market and bought the wine, and again, rolling the drum, he came back to the monastery. Sometimes we see handicapped, but they can make their life meaningful if we have faith and love in God. I remember a person in Calcutta, I heard about him. He was paralyzed, but he was so learned. He worked for a dictionary. My one body may be functioning, but with the other body I can worship God. You know, these people, these followers, inspire us, guide us. There are so many things to learn. Never keep your heart closed. The person who thinks, I have nothing to learn, he is dead. Ramakrishna says, as long as I live, so long do I learn. Learn. You know, I did not get a chance to tell you about these things which I wrote 28 pages I wrote. মরু সন্ন্যাসীদের কথা ও কাহিনী, the wisdom of the desert fathers. In the 2nd, 3rd century Christianity, when the persecution started in Rome, some monks moved to Egypt. They crossed the Nile, and the west bank of the Nile is the Skiti. In that desert, these monks lived. Their life stories are so fascinating. Thomas Merton wrote about it, The Wisdom of the Desert Fathers, and I have 2 other volumes. I read. Their purity, their renunciation, their poverty, their one-pointed love for God. We can learn from them. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kasyid dukkha bhavet. May all be happy. May all be free from disease. May all realize what is good. May none be subject to misery. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace be unto all.